Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Vishnupada Pramsa Purjakacharya Shota Shata Shri Srimad, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupada Pramsa Purjakacharya Shota Shata Shri Srimad, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Pramanande Hari Bol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 1, titled The Supreme Lord is Equal to Everyone, texts 44 through 46. So I'll just read the first two and then do the word for word and such for the last one, which is the only one that has a purport. Tatastau raksha sao jatau keshinyam vishrava ravana kumbhakarnascha sarvaloka patapanau Shrapiraghavो Bhutva Nayahanschapa Muktaye Ramaviram Shroshyasit Markandeya Mukhat Prabho Tavatra Kshatri Yao Jatao Machra Shwasratmajautava Aduna Shapa Nirmuktau Krishna Chakra Hatam Hasau Tavatra Kshatriyau Jatau Matra Shvasrajatmajau Tava Aduna Shapa Nirmuktau Krishna Chakra Hatam Hasau Tavatra Kshatriyau Jatau Matra Shvasrat Majau Tava Aduna Shapa Nirmuktau Krishna Chakra Hatam Hasau Tau, the two, Achra, here in the third birth, Kshatriyau, Kshatriyas or kings, Jatau, born, Mater Svasar Atma Jau, the sons of the mother's sister, Tava, your, Aduna, now, Shapa near Muktau, freed from the curse, Krishna Chakra, by the disc weapon of Krishna, Hata, destroyed, Amhasau, who sins. Translations of purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thereafter, the same Jai and Vijay, the two doorkeepers of Lord Vishnu, took birth as Ravana and Kumbhakarna, begotten by Vishrava in the womb of Keshini. They were extremely troublesome to all the people of the universe. Narada Muni continued, My dear king, just to relieve Jai and Vijay of the Brahmana's curse, Lord Ramachandra appeared in order to kill Ravana and Kumbhakarna. It will be better for you to hear narrations about Lord Ramachandra's activities from Markandeya. In their third birth, the same Jai and Vijay appeared in a family of Kshatriyas as your cousins, the sons of your aunt. Because Lord Krishna has struck them with his disc, all their sinful reactions have been destroyed, and now they are free from the curse. Purport. In their last birth, Jai and Vijay did not become demons or rakshasas. Instead, they took birth in a very exalted Kshatriya family related to Krishna's family. They became first cousins of Lord Krishna and were practically on an equal footing with him. By personally killing him with his own disc, Lord Krishna destroyed whatever sinful reactions were left in them because of the curse of the Brahmanas. Narada Muni explained to Maharaj Yudhishthir that by entering Krishna's body, Shishupal re-entered Vaikuntha Loka as the Lord's associate. Everyone has seen this incident. Om Gena Taramandasya Gnanjana Shlakaya Chakshrumetamyana Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are continuing with Narada Muni's discussion of the appearances of Jai and Vijay uh, within this universe. In text 45, so the one right before, or sorry, 43, the one right before the one we are reading, and the text preceding that, uh, he talked about the birth of Jai and Vijay as Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. So their first incarnation, and now he's talking about them as Ravana and Kumbhakarna, and then also their third incarnation, because they were cursed by the four Kumaras uh, to come three times as demons into the material world. They were actually given a choice to either come three times as demons or seven times, uh, but being born in pious families, in the families of devotees. And they took the option which let them spend as little time as possible in this material world. And they were also given the benediction of being killed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This was actually the reason for their coming in the first place. That Lord Vishnu, Krishna, wanted to have some fighting pastimes. Uh, sometimes you really just want a good fight. Uh, but of course, nobody in Vaikuntha fights with the Lord. Everybody is favorable towards devotional service in the spiritual world. Of course, there is sometimes play fighting between Krishna and the cowherd boys. But as far as a actual good knock them down, drag them out fight, that only happens in the material world. So he arranged that Jai and Vijay would fall to the material world uh, in order to partake in these fighting pastimes. Of course, uh, it is not always that when uh, Nrsingadev comes or Lord Ramachandra comes, that Jai and Vijay are cursed. It's not like they're being cursed in every yuga cycle. This is explained in the Lagu Bhagavatam, which I don't have in front of me at the moment. But in any case, uh, yes, Jai and Vijay were cursed to appear three times as demons. First is in the family of the Daitas um, from Kashyapa Muni, and then in the Rakshasa race as Ravana and Kumbhakarna, and then among the humans uh, as cousins of Lord Krishna. And it's been described that every time, because of being killed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they got more and more opulence. But as it is mentioned in text 44 of what we are reading today, that they were extremely troublesome to all the people of the universe. And generally, demons are troublesome, especially to the devotees. Of course, we do not necessarily have demons who are as powerful as Ravana and Kumbhakarna, who could attack the demigods themselves and uh, do all of these things, have all of these mystic powers. But the effect of the many, many small-time demons is cumulative. Uh, just thinking of what would you call it? Parallel. Ravana and Kumbhakarna were known for sending their lackeys, the other Rakshasas, the subordinate Rakshasas to them, to stop yajna, to stop the sacrifices that were being performed by the Brahmanas. Uh, nowadays, nobody has to send uh, people to stop yagyas uh, because there are, at least in the Western countries, there's practically none going on. Uh, of course, now we have the Sankirtan yagya, but by and large, nobody even thinks of doing sacrifice because of the influence of the atheistic theories of the demons. Because we should not think that demon is just some, hmm, you know, monster with horns or something like that. This is, kind of the idea that many Westerners have that, you have uh, some sort of different species of creature that maybe has horns and a tail that, came from some other plane of reality that uh, is, basically just some subtle creature that can influence us and is working for the devil. But the Bhagavad Gita gives a different definition uh, of the demoniac nature of what is actually a demon. So I'll talk a little bit about those. Uh, this is in the 16th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and ignorance. These qualities belong to those of demoniac nature, O son of Pritha. The transcendental qualities are conducive to liberation, whereas the demoniac qualities make for bondage. Do not worry, O son of Pandu, for you are born with the divine qualities. O son of Pritha, in this world there are two kinds of created beings. One is called divine and the other demoniac. I've already explained to you at length the divine qualities. Now hear from me of the demoniac. Those who are demoniac do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Neither cleanliness nor proper behavior nor truth is found in them. So we are hearing the first of the qualities of those with demoniac nature, that they do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. In other words, they do not follow Dharma. There's this idea in the modern world that do whatever you want as long as it makes you happy. But this uh, is a demoniac idea, actually. The demigods, those who are Sura, those who are of the divine nature, follow Dharma. That uh, and even mm, on just the material platform, Dharma should be followed because if one does not follow Dharma, one takes on sinful reactions that one will have to pay for either in the next life or even in this life. Generally, when we indulge in sense gratification, there is a cost. I said generally, but actually all the time. When we indulge in sense gratification, there is a cost one way or the other, especially if that sense gratification is unrestricted. Then, generally, if one enjoys a lot in one's youth, one will pay for it, sometimes in the youth itself, but generally very much in old age because of the weakening of the body by these various forms of sense gratification. Then continuing with the Bhagavad Gita, they say that this world is unreal, with no foundation, no God in control. They say it is produced of sex desire and no cause other than lust. So this very succinctly sums up what they call science nowadays, what goes by the name science, um, that there's no God in control, that everything is just the mm, result of random quantum fluctuations, that it is unreal. Uh, that seems to be a strange thing for a scientist to say, but there are actually cosmological theories that say that this world is, some say that it's a virtual particle, some say, that's a hologram or things like that. All these different speculations um, that are just insane. Um, they say it is produced of sex desire and has no cause other than lust. This is basically Darwin's theory. Uh, Evolutionary theory says that basically the point of the living entities is to have sex and reproduce. That beyond that, everything is more or less meaningless. And from a certain point of view, uh, on the material level, he is somewhat right when talking about Freud. So many of you might be familiar with Prabhupada's book, Beyond Illusion and Doubt, which is a shortened version of dialectical spiritualism, uh, where mm, certain disciples were giving Prabhupada the philosophy of different thinkers throughout the ages. Uh, and when they got to Sigmund Freud, they explained Freud's theory by saying that sex is the foundation of everything that a person does. Uh, and Prabhupada says, actually, that is right. Uh, because on the material platform, there is the central focus of all material activity, which is the sex desire. Uh, of course, uh, that is not to say that that is the highest thing everywhere. There is, of course, the spiritual reality. And of course, there are many other problems with Darwin's theories. Uh, Not only the emphasis on the sex desire, but also the de-emphasis of God. It's in the first half of this verse. It says there's no God in control, as the demons say. Because this evolutionary theory is so materialistic, that it just confuses people about the actual goal of life. And we see practically that it leads to even many social uh, issues, in the sense, for example, in the last century, uh, and even before, in the century before that, there's this idea of social Darwinism, that we can create a better species of people, improve the human race by allowing certain people to live and reproduce and disallowing others. I'm sure everybody who is familiar with history knew how those sorts of ideas came ended up. But even today, in a more subtle way, this idea of evolutionary theory is so prevalent that it reaches pretty much everywhere, from psychology to history to philosophy, even. There's this idea of that some philosophers have thought up called universal Darwinism, that basically every process worth talking about, from the quantum realm to human interactions, are some form of natural selection, some form of Darwinistic theory. And it is actually making people atheists. That's why Prabhupada said that the more you kick out Darwinism, the more Krishna conscious you become. Uh, so, uh, and there's so many theories of the scientists, and basically all of them are demoniac. Uh, so one could give class after class of this. But continuing the Bhagavad Gita, following such conclusions, the demoniac, who are lost to themselves and have no intelligence, engaged in unbeneficial, horrible work meant to destroy the world. Once again, my uh, mind goes to the scientists. Uh, of course, I spent many years in that field of activity. And then also, uh, my Guru Maharaj, who has just recently left the farm, uh, has been encouraging me in scientific preaching. So I was thinking of of applying these different things. But one can see very clearly how these demoniac scientists are uh, lost to themselves, how they have no intelligence, how they are engaged in unbeneficial, horrible work that is meant to destroy the world. Of course, emblematic of this is nuclear weapons. That we have enough nuclear weapons to destroy the world many, many times over. And this state of affairs was actually encouraged by somebody who is said to be an extremely intelligent person, Jean von Neumann, who it's considered a genius and one of these child prodigy type of people. But he came up with the idea of mutually assured destruction, which is, frankly put, stupid. Um, the idea is that if everybody has nuclear weapons, then everybody will be afraid to use them because then they will be uh, destroyed as well. Which basically means that if anybody uses nuclear weapons, then the entire world will be destroyed. But even otherwise, there are so many examples of genetically modified uh, crops uh, that only work with certain pesticides. So they sell the farmers the pesticides, and then the farmers find that they can only grow the crops from this one company, meaning that they are basically the slave of that company. Uh, and so many other issues. I saw, this was probably at least a year ago, if not more, a news article where scientists were uh, trying to create ape-human hybrids to harvest for their organs, so that when people have organ failure, they can take the organs from these hybrids that, well, they aren't really human anyway, so that we don't have to feel bad about killing them and harvesting their organs. Uh, just such horrible ideas. People will do anything in order to avoid the necessity of controlling their senses. Uh, and the Bhagavad Gita goes on in describing the demoniac nature. Uh, and as I said, the three births of Jai and Vijay, they were big demons, but today we have many, many small demons that are adding up to a mm, hellish situation. So, how do we overcome this? How do we fight against the demoniac forces? Uh, in these previous examples, in Jai and Vijay, and in so many other examples in the Bhagavatam and other Puranas and other Vedic literatures, Krishna came personally in various forms. There's Nrsingadev, Varaha, Ramchandra, his own personal form, uh, in order to kill the demons. The issue, of course, is that if he came to kill the demons in Kali Yuga, he would have to kill basically everybody because uh, more or less everyone has some demoniac tendencies uh, in Kali Yuga. So he came as Lord Chaitanya, who, instead of killing the demons outright, came to kill the demoniac propensities that are found within people by the chanting of the holy name. And of course, there is even beyond Lord Chaitanya's, not beyond, but in a continuation of Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, there is the Sinapati Bhakta, Srila Prabhupada, who gave so much instruction in his books, lectures, letters, even on how to overcome the demoniac uh, mentality that we find ourselves in. Uh, it's said in the verse that we are speaking on today that because Lord Krishna has struck them with his disc, all of their sinful reactions have been destroyed. But there is uh, no difference between the different parts and paraphernalia of Krishna because he is absolute. So, coming into contact with his disk is the same as coming into contact with his name. So we are given the process of chanting the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And by this, all of our sinful reactions have been destroyed. Uh, and even further than that, because it is one thing to destroy sinful reactions, but another thing to uproot the propensity to commit sinful reactions. Maharaj Parikshit asks Shukadeva Goswami about this because after Maharaj Parikshit hears the descriptions of the hellish planets at the end of the fifth canto, he asks, how can one become free of their sinful reactions? And to test his disciple, uh, to test the intelligence of Maharaj Parikshit, Shukadeva Goswami first recommends prayaschitta, atonement, so certain Vedic rituals that one can do to overcome the effects of one's sinful reactions. But Maharaj Parikshit passes the test in that he answers that atonement might relieve one of the sinful reactions, but it does not relieve one of the propensity to commit sinful reactions. And then uh, Shukadeva Goswami, pleased that his disciple passed the test, told the story of Ajamil, which is all about chanting the holy names, that he was saved by even chanting the holy names while thinking of some object other than Narayan, other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So how much more if we chant Krishna's names uh, while uh, thinking of Krishna, while remembering Krishna. Uh, of course, it's described in the Bhagavatam that even with Ajamil, that the fateful last time, or potentially last time, that he chanted the name Narayan, the reason the Vishnu Dutas came is because it invoked uh, memory of Narayan and his youth, worshiping Narayan within him. Uh, so we should uh, chant Krishna's name because that is the way to destroy not only our sinful reactions, but the propensity to commit sinful activities. Uh, and also, we have to uh, restrict ourselves from these sinful activities. Uh, because it is not always that immediately upon chanting the name of Lord Krishna, that one is immediately cleansed of all one's desires to commit different activities of sense gratification. It could be like that. Krishna is absolute, so if he decides to bestow upon one that benediction, that simply by saying the name Krishna once, one is relieved of the burden of wanting to enjoy materially. That is possible, but it isn't very common that that occurs. Generally, we have to restrict ourselves for some time while working to gain the higher taste of Lord Krishna's service and his mm, an attachment to his name. So we should work, we should be very serious about this process of overcoming our uh, latent or maybe even active demoniac tendencies by engagement in the devotional service of the Lord. In order to purify ourselves and not have to come back to this demoniac society. Because the world is getting worse and worse and worse. Uh, so it's way better to simply take this life, do absolutely everything that you can, uh, that to go back home, go back to Godhead, even in this life. Because no matter how bad you think Kali Yuga is now, it's going to get way worse. So don't come back. Become a pure devotee and go back to the spiritual world. So I will end here in case there are any comments, questions, additions, subtractions, multiplications, divisions.
Hi, Krishna Prabhu. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I don't have any questions. I just wanted to share some appreciation. I always enjoy your approach to, preaching bhakti, to bringing that scientific element into it and relating it to, bhakti. It's always interesting to hear your classes. So yeah, I'm just appreciative. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Haribol.
Yeah, I'd like to reiterate how much um I really enjoy when you bring that scientific aspect into it because it really brings it into a we have something to compare it to now, in
Mhm.
terms of, and I was just thinking, I'm glad you mentioned that book. What was the spiritual dialectic? What's
A
the name of that book?
dialectical spirit. So it's dialectical spiritualism is the full version.
Uh-huh.
And then they shortened it a bit into Beyond Illusion and Doubt. I heard,
Okay, Jai.
yeah, I heard the reason for the shortening is because, so it's devotees that were giving the philosophies of these different Western philosophers to Prabhupada. And
Hmm.
I heard the ones that they took out were ones where the devotees didn't do such a good job of actually representing the Western philosophy.
Got you. Got you.
So, but both are interesting to read.
Right.
Uh,
Well, I think it would be very interesting too, and I know you can't necessarily equate, well, as you were saying, as we move further into Kali Yuga, it's going to get worse. But like even with all the things that are happening now, as we see climate change,
yeah.
political upheaval all over the place, and just general quarrelsome everywhere. And but I just want to thank you for a nice class and thinking about some of these things and how they can relate to us now in this present age and how it's relevant. So,
Hmm.
Bo.
All right, well, thank you, Prabhu. Madhupan Leela, I see your virtual hand.
Hi, Krishnabhu. Thank you for your class. So I was wondering, how would you preach to somebody who's like comes from a scientific background? They're not completely atheistic, but they're like partially atheistic. They have some sort of knowledge, but they don't know of exactly what. and then preach them in a way that doesn't like smash them completely. Because obviously we know there's Prabhupada's very into like smashing the atheists, but of course no one likes to be smashed completely. So how could you preach to someone who's like from a scientific background, studies like, maybe has a few PhDs in different subjects, and preach them in a way that's like also encourages them, but not necessarily in the wrong thing?
Yeah, so my approach would be to scientifically present Krishna consciousness because sometimes we get into this mindset like, oh, we're a religion. Krishna consciousness is not a religion. We are science, philosophy, and culture. You can come to the platform of recognizing that there is a God simply by scientific argument. Um, my Guru Maharaj, our Guru Maharaj, has been encouraging me to write more, and I'm planning on writing a book where one of the chapters lays this out very succinctly. Um, so basically, you should learn the arguments for these different things, or at least know where to point people to. Um, and basically, the idea, the I guess foundational thing is to encourage them to actually look at the various forms of evidence with an open mind, with the idea that either God might exist or might not exist. Uh, because in what I call institutional science, the mm, assumption is that there is no God, which is why it's demoniac, one of the reasons why. But if one actually looks at the evidence, fine-tuning, uh, the just the human body itself, all of these things, uh, even simple principles like life comes from life and order comes from intention, one can understand that there has to be an intelligence behind the universe. Of course, if somebody has gone through the education or so-called education system, they might need that explained to them. But if they're actually open-minded, that once they are, uh, once it is explained to them, then they should be able to see it. So I would say if you want uh, kind of if it goes into kind of a more comprehensive or longer issue, point them towards more, I guess, scientific preachers. Of course, the big name in this field is Satiputta Prabhu. But if I would say if it's just one-on-one conversations, then I would try to convince them of these two principles. Life comes from life and order comes from intention. Because once you accept those two principles, you logically have to accept the existence of God. That it just flows naturally from those two premises. So those are some thoughts about it. Uh, Hopefully that was helpful.
Oh, thanks, Ruth. Sorry, I didn't realize I was unmuted. Could you explain what order from the other part of that was that you said?
Yeah,
Like there's life comes from life and
order comes from intention. That
yes.
basically, so even something like this pen, right? It is ordered towards a certain purpose. Uh, it's ordered for writing. or well, in this case, highlighting. Uh, but and we know that there's a designer to this pen. Uh, that if I tried to tell you that, this pen just grew out of random processes or something like that, that this pen was naturally selected, uh, you wouldn't believe me. And so many things, tables, symphonies, books, uh, even, there are so many texts that we have historically that authorship is lost to history. But we know that they had an author, right? We know about no historian says that any of these texts with lost authorship just came randomly out of some random process. So we see in our own experience that in all of the unequivocal cases, that when there is order, there is some intent behind it. In particular, when there is directed or teleological order, order that is directed towards some purpose, there is a conscious entity that intends for that tool or product to be arranged or used for some purpose.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Mhm. And actually, if you have these two premises, life comes from life and order comes from intention, then you can logically argue that there must be an original person who is the sarva karana karanam, the cause of all causes, or the ground of all being. All right, are there any other questions, comments?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Haribo.
Thank you so much for your class. Where do you, or can we still apply the same theory or premise, actually, not a theory, but premise, life comes from life and order from intention with AI?
Hmm. Do you mean is AI alive or?
Yeah.
So this is an interesting question. Uh, so AI is not alive. It's not conscious. The question that actually various devotee scientists I've seen are split on um, is if we make a advanced enough AI, will a soul come into it? And like I said, different devotee scientists have different answers to this question. And so I'll give you my answer, which is no. Because the, I guess what you can call developmental biology of the Vedas and the Srimad Bhagavatam is not that there's simply a body made and a soul comes into it. I like explaining it in terms of Aristotle. So Aristotle delineated four causes. There's the material cause, which is the stuff that something is made out of. The formal cause, which is the design of the thing. The efficient cause, which is the craftsman that makes the thing. And the final cause, which is the purpose for which something is made. And you need all four. Of course, not that we're beholden to Aristotle, but you find similar ideas in the Vedic literature. And I just find Aristotle the easiest way to explain. So like for a wooden table, the material causes the wood, the formal cause is the design, the efficient cause is the carpenter, and the final cause, so that you don't have to put your stuff on the floor. If we look at the development of the living entity within the womb, uh, we what is actually supplied by the mother is only the material cause, is only the matter that is going to form the body of the living entity. The all of the other causes actually come from other things. So the formal cause is actually the subtle body of the living entity, and the efficient cause is the soul, which is why um, if two uh, women give birth at the same time, in the same place, in the same hospital, but the one who has a live birth, the body that they gave birth to grows, while with a stillbirth, it does not, because the soul is in one and the soul is not in the other. And the final cause is to fulfill the desires and the reactions of the karma of the living entity. With AI, there is only one, the material cause. So the Vedic viewpoint of these things is that actually it's the living entity that is constructing the physical body around it, not that the physical body is constructed and then the living entity enters, which is what would have to happen with AI, because some engineer or computer programmer or something making the AI system uh, which is not constructed by the desires of the living entity. Uh, so my answer to the question of will AI ever be alive or conscious is no. There are other devotee scientists who have other opinions. So that's that. So you can think either way.
Right.
Another interesting question on this is that if that I've heard brought up is that if scientists make a robot with AI or something like that, will one of these disembodied living entities, like a ghost or something, come and take it over? Uh, which is probably a less of a clear-cut question, but moving a little bit into sci-fi realm.
Well, then let's just take it a step further then. And, and I think I know the answer to this. How about cloning?
Cloning. I mean, there seems to be actually the not exactly cloning, but uh, some sort of what we might call, I don't know, the Vedic equivalent of test tube babies, uh, even in the Bhagavatam itself. Maharaj Prithu was made by, he said, churning the body of Maharaj Vena after he was killed. So there does seem to be some way of taking the, as you could say, genetic material from one body and creating another body out of it, uh, even outside the normal methods of doing so. Uh, exact cloning, I haven't thought so much about. My first, kind of off the cuff reaction is that exact cloning, I'm not sure would necessarily work because once again, the body is constructed by the karma of the living entity, partial like karma and desires. So, two people having more or less exactly the same physical karma is very unlikely. But I won't necessarily say that it is impossible.
Thank you.
Mm. And I guess now thinking about it, that it could be possible because twins do exist.
I was just thinking that. Yep.
Yeah, so you could have the same physical karma, but different mm, subtle karma it would have to be. Tarka
Mm.
shedding some light on the cloning debate.
Well, shedding light or muddying the water, I don't know. I just, I have a lot of experience of propagating plants and cloning plants. It's routinely done in the field of botany, and as far as I understand, it's also been done with animals,
Mhm.
sheep, dogs, um, somehow or other, creating um, at a base level and an identical body, precisely the same genetic material, and evidently a spirit soul takes up residence.
Yeah.
But as you say, I don't know when I think about it. Then early in my life, I was a computer programmer, and I don't know. From my perspective, I just the idea of AI becoming alive just seems ludicrous.
Hmm.
I can't see that ever happening. It's just a facsimile. It's nothing but a facsimile. It's like a mannequin, acts like a human being, but it's not a human being.
Hmm.
But I propagate plants all the time. You can go in the temple basement. There's a bunch of rose plants there. They're all uh, identically the same genetic material. One was created from another.
Hmm.
Just cut off a branch, stick it in some soil, and shazam. Somehow or other, a spirit soul comes from wherever, and another plant with identical DNA. So many questions.
Yeah. All right.
All right, Krishna Prabhu, do you
I
still have
will.
time for one more question?
Yeah, sure.
Maybe are you able to give some more light on the phenomenon, I believe, in fourth canto, uh, the pastime with Daksha and how um his head was cut off and replaced with a goat's head. And I believe Prabhupada, he kind of talked a little bit about,
The brain.
the brain. Yeah, I don't remember it fully, but you guys talking about this AI thing, and I've heard certain things about consciousness being transferred, but then you see these things already happening within Bhagavatam, like you were talking about Maharaj Prithu. Yeah, do you remember that pastime, or what
Yeah.
Prabhupada was kind of emphasizing on this point about
Yes.
consciousness and the brain and all this?
Yeah, so the modern theory is that consciousness is derived from the brain, which is not that they would admit it, but it has actually been disproven. I don't know if you are familiar with the medical condition known as hydrocephalus, but
No.
it is a condition where people are born with practically no brain. Uh, and there's been lots and lots of recorded cases of this, and in many cases, they live perfectly normal lives. That actually, I don't know what you have planned for today, but it is entirely possible. It is not outside the realm of possibility that somebody that you talk to today could not have a brain and you would never know the difference. At the grocery store or out on books or something like that, you could talk today to somebody who does not have a brain, and you wouldn't be able to tell one way or the other if they did or not. Uh,
Like not have a brain like it's not there, or not have a brain like it's just not functional. I'm
it's
confused
not
on that.
there.
Oh, okay.
Like, or they only might have something like 5% of the normal amount of brain matter. The rest is just fluid. Uh, and of course, there's also evidence from flatline near-death experiences, terminal lucidity, all of these things. But basically, the idea is, or the Bhagavatam's view, the conclusion, is the consciousness not come from the brain. The consciousness comes from the soul. Uh, the question then becomes, uh, if you damage my brain, probably, I would stop talking. I would stop talking, living, like, or have some serious issues. The kind of way that I look at it, and that a lot of devotee scientists look at it, is that the brain is like a transmitter and receiver. So if uh, let's say there's some internet issue and my computer stops working, and then I just suddenly drop off this Zoom call. I drop off the Zoom call, but I don't stop existing, right? I'm still here, but I'm using the media or the via media of my computer on the internet in order to communicate with all of you. So if the internet, either on my end or on your end, just cut out, it might appear that I stopped existing. Uh, but, I would actually still be here. Similarly, if the brain is a receiver and transmitter, if the living entity doesn't know how to do it otherwise, if you damage the receiver and transmitter, the antenna basically, then the it seems as if the living entity has gone away uh, because it can't communicate anymore. In the same way that if the internet goes out on the side of the farm, then I have no way to communicate with all of you. And it might seem that I've stopped existing, but I'm still here. And uh, I might be able to figure out other ways of communication. As an example, with these hydrocephalus patients, that they obviously don't need so much brain in order to function. So that's the basic idea that or the basic view that a lot of people have taken in the devotee community, that the brain is like an antenna for the subtle body in order to interact with the gross body.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu.
Mhm. Okay, if there are no more burning comments or questions, we will end here. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.